Hi everybody. I know sometimes it takes me a little longer than other times to get a video out. And it's not that I'm not thinking about you, it's just that I get very busy. So, we're going to have a video about a lot of different things that garage sales, plants, air quality, all kinds of things. So we're going to start here, and I'm glad to have you come and join me. So last week we went garage selling, and there hasn't been a lot of garage sales around, but we were at a garage sale, and if you can see this bench, and I will show you a close-up after, but I got this bench and it was $5. The lady had a lot of stuff. There was a lady about a mom's age, I think a little bit younger. She was moving into a home, and she had a bunch of stuff out there, and there was another lady selling it, and I seen it, and this was the top that was on it. So yesterday I finished upholstering it almost, but it was kind of dirty, and I wanted to take it off and redo it for $5. And the metal part, I'll take this off for a minute. The metal part was missing quite a few screws and very wiggly. And Jack had to hunt when we got home to find the proper screws because they had to be the proper ones. But he collects a lot of screws and things at garage sales. So first thing he had to do was get it stable, which didn't take him very long. And then I washed it off. And then I thought, well, it's really handy to pull up to the, I'll talk about that in a minute, to the keyboard, or even to the table when we have a host of people that fits two nice little grandchildren bums, or a big person bum. So it's an extra chair that can go here. And so I thought, okay, a long time ago, put this here, I got a huge bolt of fabric, and I had redone all the chairs here for the dining room table because I just loved it. It was $20. It was a huge roll because I've already done all these chairs. So I knew I had fabric I would like, but it took quite a while to get all the old staples off, the old fabric off, and we're headed to the next garage sale, and I said, holy Jack, I'm going to need some foam. Next garage sale, the perfect size foam free, because people always put stuff free too. So I finished upholstering it, and it just needs screwed down, which I'm going to do today. And it turned out really nice for $5. So that was last week's sale. And then this Saturday, I had a keyboard, and it was a rolling keyboard. And it was nice. Of course, it was from a garage sale too. It was nice, but it never had as many bells and whistles. And so this winter, so when I retired, I had always wanted to learn to play the piano. Kids on my road had always played. I never had lessons, and I never took lessons. And I got those easy play books, and I just started playing, and I learned the notes, and I've learned the chords, and I can do them all. I've learned all that, but I still play from the easy play books. So I know where all the notes are, and I know it, but I still play from them. There's some nice old songs. So we got this, and it was at a sale, and they said $75, and I said, how about $50? And they says, okay. because it's been in their house for 11 years and no one's played it, and someone before them never played it. So it's like new. It's in very good shape. So I upgraded. So that was my real bargain, because I think in the, if you Google it, it's worth quite a bit of money. I've seen one for $1,300, so it's an older one, but a good one. So that is garage sales. There's a couple little things that I'm going to show you too. But this I picked up at the church's thrift store. And I kind of love the design on it. It was $1. And I love painting on glass too. So this is a mirror and I can see a nice Asian picture on here. Whether it's a gift or I keep it myself, I don't know. So there's one other thing I'll show you when I take you for a tour. So the other thing is, it wasn't long after I put the orchids out on the patio that I told you I hate to go below 55. I mean, that would be the bottom. And our temperature at night was dropping below like 48. So they hadn't been out more than a few days and I brought them back in again, and you've kind of missed all that. But so they've been in and I cracked the windows. The windows are staying cracked because we still had no rain. And yesterday in the sun, our thermometer said 100 outside. And I think we're supposed to hit 90 today. Of course, what they say is our temperature is usually different than our kind of little pocket where we are here. And of course they give the shade, but we still had no rain to speak of. And BC is pretty in a drought situation. So I just leave the windows cracked because at night we've been near freezing. And yet in the daytime, it's just been beautiful. I have to say, it's beautiful to go for a walk. It's just really nice. It's the perfect summer and it's come late. So I brought them all in and I'm going to show you where they are and what I've done, because I do want them to get that 2 weeks cold. So if I crack the windows just enough, it's not bothering enough, and it hasn't made the furnace come on. So I think we're good. So then, because I've been doing all this canning and bringing fresh tomatoes, cleaning out the garden, I had to set up my fruit and gnat traps. So this one, I just cleaned it the other day and it's already getting full. And what I've got in here is a little bit of red wine and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And I'll show you a close-up of that too. I don't know if you can see them, but they actually are floating in there, and they're flying up the sides, and so it was absolutely full. And I have a little one over by the sink. I see some over there. Let's see if you can see him. So I don't know if you see them, but just a couple of days ago, a Jack come because he noticed the color, because sometimes I just use apple cider vinegar. And it was naturally a sale that never had a lid, and I had an old decanter lid, and it slides back and forth. Now I've taped it on because I had just filled it and they were going in, but they were getting out because there was a little hole. Jack's is so great. We not only now have fruit flies, we have drunk fruit flies. Yeah. So it's true. So now I tape the lid so it can't because it wasn't made for it and it didn't really fit quite properly. So anyway, that's sort of what we've been up to here. And I do want to talk a little bit about last year. Our whole summer we were surrounded by forest fires, and the air was terrible. It was terrible all summer, not only in the house but outside the house. You just couldn't get rid of it, and we had no air purifiers, and that had hung around and bothered us a long time. And of course now they got a forest fire on the coast and we were getting smoke again, but it's backed off, and the cool nights have helped, and they've got the fires under control. And at that time the pollution in Vancouver was the worst in the world. So I started thinking, you know, we need to improve our air quality, because actually had a blood test done, and it wasn't bad, but it said I needed more oxygen, and the doctors go, open windows, don't have wood fires. I have a whole list of things that are good for helping you. So if you live somewhere, 90% of the world's population live in polluted areas. 90%. And there is such a big debate on plants and whether plants really help you clean your air. And I'm going to get an article, but anyway, I've been looking at all the things. So when you're cooking, make sure you put your fan on, and try not to have wood fires in your house. And I love wood heat. I used to have it for years. But even when it's hot, if you've got fans anytime, air circulation also helps improve the air. And yes, plants also help improve the air. And humidity. If you have a humidity gauge for your plants, you should have one for you too. Because if you're growing in a grow room, well, you're not getting that humidity. What is the humidity where you are living, where the biggest part of your time is spent? And because if it's too dry, that's not good for your lungs. And if it's too moist, that's not good. So I grow my orchids in here, and I can keep this pretty good. Because most of the time, if I didn't run, and I have a lot of humidifiers going, if I didn't run them, it would be extremely dry in the house, and especially in the winter. And then you get more flus and colds, and if your lungs aren't healthy, you're more likely to catch these things. And even COVID, that seems to be one area that attacks. And here they had on the coast, it's a head doctor saying, well, stay in. Don't exercise when there's all that smoke out there. You know, try to go to places that have good air circulation. You know, stores, maybe, people that you can go somewhere to get away from it. And he said, and the mask, he said, for the smoke is not going to work. Those particles are so small, the average mask people are wearing, those particles are going to go right through and in your lungs, and they're not coming out. And don't go exercising and doing stressful stuff in a situation where you're surrounded by forest fires. And the world's strange. Our weather, we're getting a late summer. I'm not going to complain because we had all that rain early. So I'm not going to complain about that. And we're getting outside more because our air is clear and that. And I started doing a lot of investigation on air quality, plants, and I have to run and get something because I was going to move the camera in there, but I think I'll stay here because I'm comfortable. So. Okay, that's just me not planning properly. So I started reading so much stuff online, and it is so opposite. One side says this, and it can be the top people in the area. Another side says this. Are plants taking out harmful things in our air? One question. Are plants putting good oxygen? Can you get a plant that puts oxygen out at night and have it in your bedroom? How much difference will it make? Plants grouped together help the humidity in your home. There's so many things, and I didn't look at old data because it was a nightmare, all the stuff I found out. So I like to put in the year it is and ask for the latest data, the latest studies, because there's old NASA studies that listed NASA's clean air study naturally filtering indoor pollutants, plants that they proved back in 1989, I think it was. I didn't write it down. And they gave a bunch, and you can probably check that one out by just typing NASA air study plants. And they said English ivy, peace lily, Chinese evergreen, snake plant, elephant ear philodendrons, and they came across all these, and I think you can sort of go by that, but surely since then there's a lot more information out there. And I read where some head people said, in Quora, somebody asked, is there a plant that will give off oxygen at night? And so many people, you would have wanted to believe it, said no, definitely not. Scientists, biologists, people that sell plants, all kinds of people. No, definitely not. This isn't true, but you have to make your own opinion on that. And I read and read and read, and I was waiting. You know, in Quora, I was waiting to see if somebody would have a better idea. So snake plants are one of the ones. Also, the faster growing the plant, the faster growing and the bigger leaves are naturally going to produce more oxygen. And most plants, yes, are going to produce oxygen in the daytime and let out the carbon dioxide at night, so you don't really want them in your bedroom. And also getting rid of pollutants. So I have to buy a few plants that my doctor says, open your windows, have lots of plants in your house, but I wanted to see, this is what this started, I wanted to see how that affects. Now, I'm going to show you a close-up of this, and this is which plants give oxygen in the night and are advisable to keep indoor, and this is from Quora. This is 25/9/2022. And I'm going to show you his name because it's funny when you say names on YouTube, but I'll just show you and then I'll tell you the head things. Anyway, I'll give the what I listed. I'll look here, but that was the date on Quora. Okay, Tony Tiger, no. Plant molecular cell biologist and protein biochemist author is answering this, okay? If snake plants give out oxygen at night, do they give out oxygen in the daytime as well? And he says no. Now, there is a lot of controversy, and you have to believe what you believe, just like politics, I guess. I mean, what's the truth? Which truth is it? You have to, I believe this truth. So, snake plants are CAM plants. It's a short CAM abbreviation for a name I won't even try. And most plants are not CAM plants. They're C3 or C4 plants. And these plants, the other ones, they capture light energy and release oxygen during the day. And they immediately use that energy to make carbohydrates at night. So, for all the people that say there isn't any that release at night, here we go. It's during the light harvesting reactions that hot oxygen is produced by splitting water molecules, and he goes into details about that. So, CAM plants are different, the ones that release oxygen at night. They have temporal disconnection between light reactions of photosynthesis and carbon-fixing reactions. During the night, CAM plants harvest carbon dioxide and store it for later use. During the day, these plants stop gas exchange completely to conserve water, as they typically grow in hot, arid regions. However, when the sun sets, they will release oxygen that they have made that day, and this adaptation is what allows CAM plants to thrive in desert climates. So, I put in dates. I want recent, and that's why I found this, and I'll put a little clip underneath in the description so you can find it. And the other study, and this is not just snake plants, there are a few that do release oxygen at night, so they're good. In fact, orchids do, but orchids aren't as fast growing, and they don't release as much, but they do release oxygen at night. So you can have orchids in your bedroom. So there was a study, March 7th, 2022, at the University of Birmingham. Ordinary potted houseplants can potentially make a significant contribution to reducing air pollutions in homes as offices, according to new research. So, I will put a link to this article. The University of Birmingham, and in partnership with the Royal Horticultural Society, they did a series of experiments, and modern teen houseplants exposed to nitrogen dioxide, a common pollutant. Researchers calculated that in some conditions the plants could be able to reduce the nitrogen oxide by as much as 20%. The researchers tested 3 houseplants commonly found in UK homes. Easy to maintain and not overly expensive to buy. They included the peace lily, which is quite well known as a good one, the corn plant, and this is not, I'm not saying these are the night ones. These are ones that clean your air. If you have any breathing problems, you want clean air. So each plant was put in a special chamber containing levels of NOT comparable to an office situation. And over a period of 1 hour, the team calculated that all the plants, regardless of species, were able to remove half the nitrogen oxide in the chamber. I'm going to put a link to this. It was very interesting. And funny thing I also learned was a lot of the plants that clean your air, a lot of the best ones that clean your air are also like if you're worried about children eating leaves or pets. They're actually, a lot of the best ones are poisonous if you eat them. Now the snake plant is a real good one. It's one I'm going to get. I've made a decision what ones I'm going to get. So you'll be seeing them when I find them, because very few places to buy houseplants here, especially when you start and get particular what you want. And I'd like to get a bigger one if I can. Now, like I know the fig tree is an excellent one, but I don't have room for a fig tree. And someone says, well, you can get a grow it as a, what do you call that, a botany, you know, keep it small. Well, you can keep it small, but because there's not many leaves and it's not very big, it's not going to do the job. So, but the snake plant, relatively safe but mildly toxic if consumed. The leaves contain a poison that can cause swelling and numbness of the tongue, and eaten in large doses can be harmful to children and animals. But the snake plant has so many benefits. They filter indoor air, remove toxic pollutants, help boost your mental health. They're easy to care for. They're effective against allergies. They may help the energy of a space according to feng shui, and they may help minor ailments. They remove CO2, benzene, formaldehyde, xylene, triachlorethylene, and toluene. And they're very useful and used in a lot of places like India to heal skin wounds and burns. You break it and use it on you. And I'm not a doctor, so don't believe me. I'm just telling you some things I found. Heal skin wounds, reduce inflammation, support blood pressure, strengthen your immune system, flush out parasites, and relieve headaches. I'll show you a link to this one too. So anyway, that's one of the things that just drove me crazy. Have you ever sat at the computer so long trying to figure things out and it drives you crazy? Well, I was going to do this video yesterday, but it was, I don't think so. So now I've been talking so darn long, I'm going to take you for a plant tour of how things are going in our house. Oh boy. Yes. Okay. Always something happening around here, always. Never a dull moment. So, now they're all in. Now I do have the dendrobiums in the window still because they're in flower. But they'll go out to the greenhouse for a couple months in the winter, and then they'll drop to about 50 because we keep it a low of 50 out there. And I'll be bringing them back in to see if some of the young shoots are going to flower, because this is an old one that just threw out a few. And here's Georgia Pearl. Look at her new leaf is growing. And I do have a cork in there because these leaves, when they get misted or something, they're too close to make me happy, but she's doing good. So things are looking pretty good. And up here, but I have a mister here. This is a fish I, of course, got garage sale for $5 or something. And then I have my bowl down here. So that's what's happening in that window. And down here was my other garage sale find. Now this is an antique coal chute. And I did pay $10. It's got one ding, but it's in really good shape. But you know what I like to use something like this for? And I haven't cleaned it yet. Is my cord that has a switch that controls my misters here. Rather than have it sitting on the floor looking ugly, I have it down in there, and then I just reach in and turn it off. So anyway, we will take another quick look in this window because we're going to talk about houseplants too. So see, these are nice leaves. And do check out the ones that are good for in your bedroom. And make sure humidity is good in your bedroom. You see, this is a good one, and I'm hoping it will vine out and just go around and around this metal thing. So that's the plant. Look at, this is Soko Vivian, the Peloric one. She is doing good, and it's watering day Wednesday, and they're only getting a dribble halfway right now. And that is, oh, darn. That is Mini Mart. She is a funny color, but she is getting a leaf, so I guess I won't complain. Okay. We'll just slowly turn you around so you don't get dizzy. And, my little humidity chamber, sometimes I mist it in the morning real good, and then I just leave the door open, and it is just, everything is doing so good in here. Lots of healthy looking roots, new leaves, especially when I was going to lose Horella reticula at the top, the tiny little one. There is lots of roots, so whether we get flowers anywhere in here in the spring, I don't know, but the roots are just really healthy. So, there. And then I do have a fern here. Ferns are good. Boston ferns are better, but any fern is good. But the trouble, they like humidity a lot, so this time of year it's starting to dry out, and I have to try and remember to make sure I mist it good, and maybe water it twice because of the dry air in the winter. Hoya, it's doing really good. And this is the orchid that I got, and I made sure that I soaked the bark for 3 days in seaweed extract and a little Kelly Magic, and then I repotted it, and I had it in a different container because those first few months I wanted to keep a good eye on it. And I had it in a different container, and when I was sure it was used to the bark, and during that time I watered it twice a week the whole time. Because it used to moss, it had got changed from moss to bark, and it was so used to moss, they need that extra water. It kind of fools them. And it didn't suffer, it didn't get any limp leaves. I kept it really moist. And then when I felt it was good for the bark, I put it into the traffic cone. So. And here's the other Nobel dendrobium. And it flowered a lot. And it didn't get new shoots, so I don't think I'm going to see any spring flowers on this one. But it sure is flowering nice now. Now here's my big lip, and I found out early in the year when the sun came early and surprised me, it got some sunburn. But the new leaf is coming really healthy. Taught me a lesson. It does not like much sun. It likes to be in the back. So up here. New leaves. Roots are still looking good. And yes, I let it get dry. And you can see I'm using my neat little mister. So, the new mister's garage sale finds. Oh boy, yeah, we are lucky. We are lucky. Okay, now in here. Of course, this is where I like to sit and read, and I move this chair here, and it's so cozy, and I'm near my orchids, and I have my Chinese money plant, very good for the air, and I can circulate it because it's on a little stand that moves, because they tend to want to go towards the light, so you can keep turning it and it will thicken up. It's very good for the air, and when all these babies start to grow, I had it on the other side. It seems to be like it more on this side a little bit. I notice the leaves just perked right up, just a little too much sun over there. And Christmas cactus is very good. I think they let off oxygen at night. You'd have to check on that, but I think they did. Not the Easter, but they did say the Christmas cactus. And there's my $2 mister. Just, it lasts so long. You can put so much water in it. And it's only on low. I mean, if I turn this thing up, it really shoots out the mist. But I just got it on low. It is great. I've grown to like them. I have my bowls, and I still like my bowls. But boy, I have grown, and that's called a Bionaire. And it's amazing. It holds a lot of water. It's easy to clean. And these two orchids are doing good here. And these guys are getting new leaves. And look at the roots. When I put these two together, they just love it in here. But it has that same cone shape where it can't collect a lot of moisture down below. It stays pretty dry. Growing in bark the way I do, it's on the dry side, but only when they're accustomed to the bark. And this one's been flowering a long time. I wasn't going to let it because it didn't have many leaves. And I was thinking that, and then it decided it was going to have a leaf. So I says, okay, you can stay for now. And the little torch cactus, it wants to send out some more flowers, but it might be waiting till next year because it depends how cold it's going to be. So that is just about it. There's one more house plant here. I got my bamboo. This one I got years and years ago, and it is just in water and pebbles. But I do water all my house plants. All my house plants get the same water that the orchids do. And I'll just finish with a look outside. We are enjoying beautiful weather. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And I'm slowly cleaning up everything that needs cleaned up before fall. So thanks for coming to visit. Love you all, and hope this was helpful to you. Bye for now.